Good evening, everybody. Cobalt here. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody is doing fine. I am doing okay. I can't complain too much. Oh, let's adjust that. That seems to be strange. Let's reset position there. There we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, I'm doing okay today. I'm feeling a little under the weather, but other than that, fine. Tonight we are going to keep working on TwitchQuickPoll, which we started working on last Saturday. Make some more progress with making things simpler for just running pre-built polls in Twitch. Congratulations, Eccentric for the first and Will for the second. I think I've been playing with the idea. I'm not sure I am gonna do anything with it, but first, second, and third, I feel like I should add something to like this redeem has a mysterious effect. +3, +2, +1. I have added it to my little document of like who redeemed this on this day. So I may start keeping track of that for mysterious reasons that may or may not ever resolve into anything. Doing okay, just murdering zombies and looting them all in Zomboid. Well, that sounds fun, Eccentric. Coding, exactly. That's what we're going to be doing today, Will. Sir, I want this polling power. I have ideas, but the fact is polling is a minimum of 1 minute is too long. I do think it's a minimum of 1 minute. I haven't tried running a poll with a time of below 1 minute, but I do think that's the minimum. I will probably have to test that at some point to be like, hey, does it blow up if we run it for like 30 seconds or whatever? But like what I'm envisioning right now is a bunch of pre-built polls for something like the Hades challenge stream that I did, right? Where all of that was, there were so many polls and the Guardian was having to run so many polls and then screenshot them, and I don't want to work my mods to death, right? So I figured, hey, let's make a tool to automate the bulk of this. To be fair, he was being a champion. He was being a champion, yes. And thank you for the stretch and hydrate, Will. We will do that. As always, if you want to join in and be happy and healthy together, please feel free. And if not, that's fine too. Let's stretch up to the sky, way up high. And let's stretch to the side, and let's stretch to the other side, and let's stretch forward. And I was being absent, lazy. I don't remember where I was for this. I think you were streaming at the time. You rated me during that stream. But you know what? No worries. It was something that I had chatted with the Guardian about, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's fine. I can help you with that." So, all good. The worst crime, streaming overlap. I mean, there's only so many hours in the day. Maybe I should start streaming at like 3 a.m. Let's stretch the left arm over the body. Let's stretch the right arm over the body. And let's rotate those shoulders. 1, 2, 3. And let's rotate the neck. 1, 2, 3. And let's shake out those legs. Do 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 do. 1, 2, 3. And then let's hydrate. And then stretch complete, hydrate complete. I legit have a weird stream schedule partly so I can at least catch a few streams from my favorite streamers. It is so interesting how much this overlaps, right? It's like, well, I'm gonna stream. Oh no, well, I'm streaming at the same time as somebody else, or everybody else is streaming at the same time. It's just it's interesting. Gonna have to do a raid train. You stream 8 to 9, then I'll start at 9, raid into me, stream until 9 p.m. back to you. It overlap, yeah. Infinite viewer glitch. Oh, I mean, what was it? Was it like last September? I know that there were some streamers that were trying to do something that was like we're gonna keep a stream going for like all of September or something like that. So it's like, okay, you're gonna take this time, and then you'll get raided into, and then you raid the next person in the like schedule, and it's just a whole thing. Don't have to do Sunday, Monday, and Thursday, but if I change it up, I miss 2 or more streams from people I like. Yeah, I mean, hey, that's a perfectly valid reason to build your stream schedule the way you do, right? It's like, well, if I stream at this time, then I can't watch, you know, X's stream, so obviously I can't stream then. Perfectly valid. So, where we left off last time, we'd started building this polling tool. You know, we got it a little bit working, where, you know, we mainly get prompted in the console app after we run it to make your title, your questions, whatever, and then we installed a command line parser to then parse our arguments in and use, I think it was this one, to define how the console app works, so it'll yell at you if you don't feed in the right thing. Unfortunately, some of these aren't actually valid, so we're gonna have to do something else. We're gonna have to add some additional validation outside of command line parser because, well, it needs to be done, because we need to validate some more things that are coming in here, like, hey, this needs to be either null or a positive value, possibly, well, and it only can be a positive. We only care about it. Well, I don't know, maybe we say it's not valid if you don't actually have, if you haven't actually set the channel points flag. But, you know, there's additional validation that we need to add. So we're going to install a new NuGet package. Do appreciate the idea of everyone lining up properly for raids. My god, if one person gets sick, I know, right? It's like, oh shit. You know, you're just puking and you're like, no, I have to go on stream. Just, here, I'll get the bucket. We have to keep this going. Don't worry, Cobalt, you're validated. I've filled in all the correct forms. Well, thank you for filling out those forms for me, Will. I didn't even know the forms needed to be filled in to be validated, but I'm glad that they have been. I was very worried about that. Manage NuGet packages, and we are going to search for Fluent validation. And this one we're gonna do it a little weird. We're not going to we are not going to, well, it's better if you're doing it in like a web app, because it just gets hooked in very nicely. I don't think, hold on, I want to check this. Which one do I actually want? Oh, and let's kill that. And you know what? I don't need that, doesn't need to be open right now. Let's kill that. Oh. There we go. I've played too much Helldivers. The bureaucracy of democracy has infected my mind. All forms must be filled out properly. I mean, hey, it definitely makes life easier if your forms have been filled out properly. So which one do they want me to install here? It's just literally Fluent validation. Okay, that's reasonable. Wait. Is this the ASP core one that we need? Let's take a look at what this is. What this is valid for. It has no... What's the difference between this and core? Oh, it is literally just... Wait, for 6? This has .NET 8 on it. Why? Hold on. Now I'm confused. Fluent validation versus Fluent validation ASP.NET Core. Which one do we actually want? Or do they both kind of work? Fluent validation versus Fluent validation ASP.NET Core. Google knows what I want. The Fluent validation ASP Core package is no longer maintained, is now unsupported. Okay, so it is just use, it is just this one, I think. Okay, that's fine. That's what we want. Cool, let's install Fluent validation then in here. Install. I really like fluent validation. I want to use it in more things. It makes life so convenient. Alright. So... Oh, speaking of Helldivers, I purchased it. I haven't played it yet. A bunch of my friends have been playing it, so I need to play it with them at some point. But I haven't gotten started on that yet. Instead of playing Helldivers last night, I set up a Slay the Spire run as the Silent, where I had Endless set on and Vintage mode, where you get relics from regular fights instead of cards. And it is going great. I'm on floor like 300 right now. I am very powerful. Especially because one card that I have innate is the Ritual Dagger. So I can basically one-shot most enemies, and it just keeps getting stronger. It's a good time if it's your kind of game. Many pew-pews. Did someone say manage democracy? Democracy! Apparently people are saying democracy. How are you doing today, Makshiki? I hope you are doing well. Alright, also... you know, let's make some folders. I'm gonna move these around later, probably. But, new folder, let's just say... models. And let's say validators. Add. And I think today might be a bit of a short stream, but I often say that, so who knows? I was thinking like 2 hours. We'll see. Also, how is the background audio? Is it good? Validators. All right. Which one is this? This is our models. It's good. Excellent. And options. I'm gonna leave settings there, but I am going to. I am gonna throw that in models. Adjust namespace for remove files, sure. We're probably gonna end up pulling models. We might end up pulling models into a separate project, but everything here is just like one little conflap, so maybe we won't. Played the game a bit and have unlocked everything from the normal battle pass and premium battle pass. That's cool. Audio's good. Excellent. Hey Commander Sander, how are you doing tonight? I hope you are doing well, and thank you for the hydrate. Gotta keep my insides liquidated. I mentioned it a bit earlier, but I am contemplating adding a little bit of wording to first, second, and third that say this redeem may have a mysterious effect. I'm not sure I'm going to end up doing something with it, but I am recording that. Just because I might end up doing something with it. I've had thoughts. And now I'm like, do I want to do that? Do I not want to do that? So, you know, just something to keep in mind for the future. Okay, so let's look at what they want for this. They want creating your first validator. They want, we have to implement the abstract validator for the class. That's reasonable. So let's grab this. And let's make a new class. That was a meat grinder. Oh my goodness. Still like war. Because war is hell. I've had the dark, menacing, conspiratorial thoughts. Cobalt, kind of 2024. Exactly. Exactly. I have thoughts. Sometimes I think things. Sometimes I'm like, I should start this project. And then I get somewhere with it. And then I'm like, well, we're done with that now. Options, validator. Boop. And that needs to be a public class, not an internal class, I believe. I'm gonna show myself as a basic bitch here. I don't normally use I don't usually use internal. I use public, protected, and private. And even then it's mostly just public and private. Abstract validator. Or it's abstract validator, I think. Is it? What is it? Oh, it is just abstract validator. It's not the... We're actually inheriting from the class here. Something I have heard, though, is sealing your classes. There's some internal shenanigans that Microsoft is doing. So sealing your classes, public sealed class does speed things up. So that's probably something I should be doing. Twitch quick poll options. And let's just get rid of the validator. It'll complain, and then we'll say add the namespace. I heard sealing your classes makes it hard for them to breathe. What is the Twitch quick poll options? Why am I not seeing that? Twitch quick poll models. Oh, it's create options. Sorry, that's the actual class. Because of course I didn't name it the right thing. I'm so good at this. Basically, what stealing the classes as well is that you can't inherit from them. So, you know, as we're not inheriting from most of these classes, it's not a problem. So it's just a speed boost that we don't get anything. We don't like lose anything from sealing them. It's just kind of you have to remember to do it. I see this joke did not work. Reloading next joke. Listen, I mean, if you want to tape your class's mouth and eyes shut, I don't know. That's a little concerning. Will, that's some serial killer shit. Don't do that. And let's make a specific validator for. Let's rename the validator. Create option validator. Yes, I would like to rename that. And then we have public. Let me code. Let me code. I want to code all the cookies. I was thinking classes as in classroom classes. Stealing the class into the classroom. Well, Will, if you're stealing the class into the classroom, you might be, the school might be in a bad situation. So, that is not good. We don't want that. Let's create that. So, we've got our constructor here, and I don't like that, bracket placement. They will learn or they will die. Jesus. Oh my goodness. That is dark. That is dark. That is just scary. It's no good. Oh well. Probably Assassin class from 2024. That's the one where like the teacher is an alien, right? It's like, hey guys, you gotta kill me, otherwise I'm gonna destroy the planet. I've never watched it or read it. But the character, like the teacher character, is like a weird like octopus alien guy, if I remember correctly. Very distinct, I think. So let's hop back to here and let's take a look at what we want. Title needs to be, okay, so we need to set our title. The principal's just standing outside the classroom arguing with the insane teacher. You can't seal your class into the classroom. Yes, I can. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the principal would care. Maybe they wouldn't. Let's do this. Let's grab this. Duration. We need our minimum and maximum values. That's fine. This one, I think minimum channel points just has to be 1 if that's set. And this, I don't know if there's a way to validate the broadcaster ID, so we probably won't throw that in our validator. Rule 4. All right, let's take a look. And isn't there something where we need to make a function for this? Let's okay, so what do we want for title? Title needs to be between these two. And each value needs to be something that isn't a string or white space, or sorry, empty string. No, empty string or white space. Duration. Let's grab that. Minimum 60 seconds, maximum 600. And channel point needs to be some number greater than 0. Positive, or sorry, integer greater than 0. Okay, so let's take a look at what we can do here. Rule for x dot, how's the name again? How are we doing this? Oh, okay. Title. Title. 1 second. Okay. Create options. Yeah, let's do it. Create dot title. And what options do we have to work with? Minimum length. Yeah, minimum length is 1. Maximum length is 60. And what else? What other options do we have? Custom. Find the custom rule. Let me check how custom rules work again. Custom validators. We could do this to make it reusable. A lot of stuff is public. It's true. Mainly because, you know, it makes it easier to access things. I'm not doing any methods that aren't going to be called. And because, you know, custom message placeholder. Writing a custom validator. What does it want from me? Custom. Is this a list? What are we doing here? I don't understand coding at all, so this is me trying to play with the words that I know. It's all I have. What is dot custom here? Let's just take a look. It's been a while since I've had to do validations like this. They're nice, but I don't use them enough that it's like dot custom. Is this how we're doing it? Yeah. Okay. There, and we want title and context. And what does it think title is? I just want to make sure it's a string. Okay, so title dot is string dot is null or white space. Title. And we have to, do we have to return this? Oh, we have to add a failure. Okay. That makes sense. So, here, let's split this out. This, that. So we say if it's a empty or empty string, string that's spaces, a string that's null, we're gonna say, hey, you need a title, dumbass. Context dot add failure, I believe is what it is. Yes. The title must contain what would be a wording that would make sense to non-technical people here? Must contain an actual string. Hey, Code Neko. Oh, hey, coding is happening again. It is. I originally thought that I had something on this Saturday, so I wasn't going to be able to do a software development stream today. But that is actually next Saturday. So I'm here right now. We're writing some validators. Just to make up for the fact that the command line parser, command line parser options doesn't have as much validation built in as I want. There's not enough points for that request. I mean, I don't think that is actually what the error we're writing the validation for there is, Mukshiki, but you know, hey, if it comes down to let's troll the users, that's not what I want here. Title must contain, title must not be empty. Must contain non-space strings. Must contain non-space strings. I don't like that wording. Does anybody have a good wording for this failure of this specific custom check that we're saying, hey, you know, if you're null or white space, fail out? Yeah, and strings probably isn't a thing. The title... What do I want to do here? What is the wording we want? The title must... Please use words to make the title. Using wrong cookies. Exactly. Yep, that's the real problem here. Oh, here, let's bump that back there. And this is, I don't know. How do I feel about that? I think that looks better. That looks better. So, minimum length is 1, maximum length is 60. Please use words to make the title. Yeah, that's reasonable. Okay, let's make another rule. Rule 4. The same boat as Will, just super smooth brain about the topic. Well, you know what? I appreciate, even if you guys don't know programming, the fact that you have just stopped by to say hi and stuff like that, you know? It means a lot. Create dot questions. Okay, what do we have? Minimum length. Must? What options do I have here? Child rules? Must. Wait, we probably just need it. We can make a customs one here. Context. So, questions is our list. We should already be checking this. You know what? We're gonna make two things. Just it's not really as necessary here, but we're gonna do this. We're gonna go if questions dot count is less than 2. And let's add a failure for that. A poll requires at least 2 questions. Okay. Yeah, let's put that there. Otherwise, we're going to make another one. Well, you know what? This can be an else if. Questions count is greater than 5. A poll, let's say, and have a maximum of 5 questions. Alright, and then we're gonna have a nice little for each here. Each question in questions, we're gonna check if where is it? String dot is null or white space. Should word that as poll can only have a maximum of 5 questions. That is a good point. Have a maximum of 5 questions, indeed. A poll requires, you know what, and we're going to change this then. Poll requires a minimum of 2 questions. White space of question. And then we're going to say continue to break out of this because we're only going to display it once. Context. Please use words to make the title. I don't like that. It is funny though, right? Please use words to make the title. Not necessarily the best wording here, but funny, I think. Why do I wanna... This is gonna be the thing, is the wording, right? Please use words to make the questions. I don't want to say alphanumeric because like special characters are allowed. Viv, gosh, I'm so bad at this. What is Viv? You're right. Yeah, that's reasonable. Okay. Rule for duration. Duration. Oh, create dot duration. You get what I want. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. We can just make a regular class here. Or not regular, just max. Is there really not a built-in max and min? I feel like there is. Hold on. Fluent validation. Yeah. What is greater than or equal to? It's a built-in validator. We may be able to... Rule 4 is not empty, is not equal to, equals length. It's a string property. Max length, min length, less than, greater than. Is there a between? There's an enum. There's like, wait, there's a credit card validator? Checks whether a string property could be a valid credit card number. That's funny. Empty, null, exclusive between. Inclusive between. Oh, can I just use inclusive between here? Cool. Let's check. Yes, I can. Oh, wait, that's... Why is that string? Hold on, what? 1? $60? Oh, no, that's a different one, right? This is the one we actually want inclusive between for. I know what I'm doing, I think. There we go. 60, 600. And then... How do we want to do this? Rule 4. Okay, and create dot channel points. Okay, let's check fluent validator. Conditional rule. What's the conditional rule here? Conditions. Oh, okay, we can just say when. Wait, we say it on the end? Okay, makes sense. That's fun. Inclusive, but actually, you know what? Greater than. Greater than 0. That was, wow. When was, did I say it was when was the, yeah, it's just when. Cool. When. Create dot Use channel point is true. There. Okay. So here is our set of rules. And I'm just curious, can I maximum value on a string? Yeah, whatever. So, hypothetically, when we go back here, we want to, where is the first one? Creating your first validator. It's just we declare it and then run it, right? Yeah, we do. Okay, so let's go back to our program. And let's go... We let the parser parse what comes in to make sure it's valid. We'll probably have to tweak this later for options that aren't just create, but for now, this is fine. Again, we're going to do a lot of cleanup later. It's just, for the moment, it's not a huge problem. So we say TwitchQuickPoll create option validator. Again, same thing is, I think we'll probably have to split, you know, create and retrieve and list into their own little functions that will get called based on what options come in. But for now, again, this is fine. Equals new validator. Validator dot validate async. Doesn't really matter, but do I need to pass in the value? I do. Okay, that's fine. Parse result. Where is our actual... Where is the option that comes in? I don't want the option. Does it come in? Do I have it to use it later here? So parse results. Result dot. What is this? What I want, I don't want a result. I just want the actual... Get an instance with the parsed value. So value is what I want. Yes. I think. Validate async. Validate. Await. And var x equals that. What type is this going to be? Validation result, eh? Please use proper English for your question. I mean, that is valid. Yeah. That is definitely valid. Please, let's just say, please use non-space characters to create. Or no one will understand the poll. Yeah. Let's say non-space. You know what? We know what a space is. To create your title. Actually, you know what? Let's reword this. You don't get a please. Just do it. A title requires non-space characters. There we go. Titles can't be empty. That is also valid. Yeah. You know what? I like that, Koneko. I like that. Cannot be empty. And then we'll say... Same thing here. Questions. Cannot be empty. Alright. So... We have that. We're validating this. What are we complaining about? What is the type that comes back? Sorry if that's a var. What is the type supposed to be? Validation result, right? What's it complaining about now? Returns a task validation result. What's the problem? Oh, is it not the right type? Data annotation. Do I actually have to explicitly say it's a fluent validation results validation result? Apparently. Fluent validation dot results dot validation result. And then we can get rid of the data annotations, and then we can just say, hey, this is a validation result. I think. No, apparently not. It's fluent validation. I must have hit the wrong one. And let's say parse result, validation result. It knows what I want. Okay. And then we say if, oh, guess I need my semicolon there. If validation result dot is valid equals false, then we just want to write to the console for the moment? Probably, eh? Yeah, probably. Console dot, actually, no, what, better idea. For each error invalidation, it knows what I want. It's getting it. It knows. There we go. So if this comes back with nothing, it says, hey, you aren't giving me anything. And that's not cool. Got a tap, have a good stream? Well, thank you for stopping by, Will, and thank you for the work. I hope you have a good one. Alright. Oh, and thank you for the transformation redeem, Eccentric. Just give me one moment. Let's get some kitty ears going. One can only program in one form. Fair enough. And a 1. And a 2. And a poof. Yay, I've got kitty ears now. Let's go. Okay. So, right now, if we run this, it should pop up and complain that... Yeah, okay. So we step through here. And it says, hey man, what are you doing? You need a title. You need a question. So titles required, questions required, duration is, we have a default. So that's fine. I'm gonna leave this here for a sec. We'll just kill that. And, oh, actually I'm closing it. Whatever, that's fine. Let's go to, where is this? Properties. And debug. Is it this one? Debug launch profiles. Command line arguments, yes. So dash T. Let's just say there's nothing. Dash Q. Dash Q. So let's see if this does something. I'm not quite sure how it wants us to pass these in, but we'll figure it out. There, let's save that. So right now, if we go back to here and we say debug. Debug, start new instance. Okay, and it's going to yell at us probably. But let's see. F10. And what is it saying? Question is defined multiple times. Do I have to... Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. I wonder if it's then supposed to be like this. Back to debug for a second. Or back to proper... No, I don't know what I just did. What did I just do? Open it in PowerShell? I don't want that. Why do I not have a watch? Whatever. That's fine. Properties, here we go. And debug general, launch profiles. And let's just say, hey, title. And question. Question. And I don't know if it's how it wants us to split these. But we'll check. Debug. Start new instance. Okay. How do I pass that in then? 1 second. Command, align, parse, a list option, sure. How do I pass in an array of strings? List of strings. How to pass in an array of strings. Using the separator property from the wiki. Okay. Parsing a list of enums. Why does it not like that? What do we not like? Error setting value to whatever. Check if option or value attribute type. Let's see what this is gonna yell at us about. Command line parser. Check if option or value attributes are set. Option is always required. Sequences with separators should stop. Do I need to explicitly like comma delimit this? To say, hey, everybody needs to have a comma here. Because like I want to be able to put spaces in here, right? So you'd think that you need to wrap your strings in quotes. That would be my intuitive expectation. Hold on, if I look at this, what does it think that's coming in here? Parse result, what is the value? Value is null, so we haven't, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I was hoping maybe we could be like, what do you think you're getting here? Okay, what if I do this then? Let's stop debugging. And let's properties. Launch profile. Title. Okay, what if I say this? I say that we're just gonna pass in one question as a array here. Is it gonna say here that, oh, I don't know what, you need 2, right? That'd be what I would hope. And then it can be like, well, what do I need to explicitly set? What do I explicitly need to set the thing as? Okay. We're setting value. Like, this has to be something that people want, right? It can't just be, oh, you can't do this. Command line parser, list of strings. What I want here is obviously including spaces. How to pass string with spaces. Enclose the string with double quotes, which is right. So that's right. What I was doing here, I would expect. Check if the option or value attributes. Okay. To option Q question. I don't understand why this is a problem then. Check. I did mean check. Are we doing something weird here that it's decided it doesn't know what we're passing in? This is options. And hey, we can get rid of these at least. We've cleaned that up. Oh. What are the odds? Hold on. What are the odds that I need to explicitly pass in a create here? I don't think I should because it's the only one we have, but maybe. Slash, or not slash, dash. Create. Save that. Debug. Start new instance. Oh no, guys. I just realized I'm cold and I don't have a hoodie. F10? What are we complaining about? It's still the same one, eh? Option C is unknown. Okay, so it doesn't like create? That's interesting. Alright. I guess that's fine. Hold on. Command line parser. Again, why is it always command line parser being finicky? C#, a list of strings. What do we have here? This is what I get. This is what I get for using command line parser. No, I actually really like it. It's just a couple of these finicky things, and it always seems to be the list. The decorator should be option list. Is it? Are we not setting it as option list? Oh, okay, option list. Which doesn't exist. Or is it just because I'm running? I think it's... Oh, sorry, let's fix that. Back to full screen, guys. Install package VisioForge.NET Core Trial. Yep, that's exactly what I want. Okay, no, that's not... That's not what I want. Required is true. I enumerable. Is it... What do I have to make it an I enumerable? Okay. Let's just see. I'm wondering if for some reason it doesn't like the fact that we were like, it's a list. Maybe. Let's rebuild and see if it blows up. Give me a second. I'm cold. I'm gonna go grab something warm. One moment. Alright, I'm back. So that rebuild worked. What's the... Did I take out the create? I don't remember. Whatever, we'll see if it yells at me. Software development, am I right? F10. Oh, sorry, F10. There we go. What do we have? Oh, C is unknown. That fixed the problem. Cool. You'd think that it would let you have a list because a list implements IEnumerable, but I guess not. You know, iList is a superset of IEnumerable. It's basically IEnumerable with additional functionality, so... But... Okay, I guess. I guess. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go... Debug... Not debug. Properties. And... let's... go to our launch profile. Let's take out the create flag right now because apparently it doesn't care about that at the moment. And then let's run this with the debug. Okay. There's apparently no errors. That's good. So we make a new validator. We're going to validate that. It should say that it's false. And we should have apparently one. Questions cannot be empty. What about title? Alright. Interesting. What is the value? Title. Oh, did I pass in title as title? Wait, what are the question titles then? What? Interesting. Gotta go get some food. Well, thank you for the work, Code Neko. I hope you get something tasty. Something tasty to eat. That is concerning to me. Okay, hold on. Does it not understand the mapping between... Did I not... Hold on. I doesn't understand... short name and long name, but it should. Does it need to be a double dash? Oh, okay. Maybe that's what the problem is. All right, let's take a peek at this. Properties. Dash dash create dash dash title dash dash question. There, it should yell at us about this. I think that's what's gonna happen. Debug, start new instance. Okay. So, now we should have some errors. Which we do. And what are the errors? Create is unknown. A sequence option question is defined with fewer or more items than required. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, I gotcha. I see what you're saying. I understand. I'm picking up what you're throwing down. You know, all that jazz. It doesn't like create, though, which is interesting. I'm assuming that means that I've done something that I don't understand yet. So we'll ignore question. Or, sorry, we'll ignore create at the moment. Oh, and let's mark that transformation as being complete. It's just sitting there, taking up space, being despicable. But yeah, I think that should do it. And then this time it'll complain. So let's do this, and we'll see if that is happy with what we get. Debug. God, how many times have you seen me look for the debug option in the menu? I never know where it is. I always have to look. It's embarrassing. Okay, so parse errors. There should be no errors. Cool. This is good. And we'll validate, and we should say that's invalid. We should have a couple errors. We do. What errors do we have? Title must be at least one character. You have entered 0. Titles cannot be empty. Hold on, I'm just thinking this. Questions cannot be empty. Questions cannot be empty. Well, first of all, didn't I loop that in? Just thinking here. No, that's not the right one. In our validator. Continue. Is it break? What is the exit early for fluent validation? Fluent validation exit early. What is our bailout? Fluent validation, exit. Continue. Oh, sorry, that's break. Not continue. Cobalt, you fool. So if we rerun this now, oh, and let's just let's go back to, oh, I was gonna complain about it anyway. Let's just kill that. So I only care about this if our maximum length okay, we have our when. You know what, let's just add an additional check here. If sorry, title dot length is greater than 0. There, that should handle, it should handle this case. And I don't know, it's a stylistic thing. I prefer count, actually. I just like how it looks better. It gets compiled down to length anyway, I think. In the current version of .NET. You know what, let's say null? Not null. Yeah, this can't be null, so not null. We can feed that not null check in there. Same thing with not null. Duration is not required. I mean, it shouldn't be a thing. They should be required anyway. This shouldn't actually get triggered, but it's just an additional sanity check, so it doesn't hurt. So right now, if we debug this, you know what, just to make life easier, we're gonna do this. Let's just say console.writeLine. You hit the end. Press enter to exit. Console.readLine. Return. There. So now none of this is going to get called, which is fine, because I just don't want to have to step through breakpoints every time. Let's put a breakpoint in here to say we're bailing out. And yeah, that will do what we want. Press enter to exit. There. I mean, you could press any key, but enter is a word. There. So right now, we should say the length of the title must be at least 1 character. You entered 0 characters. Okay, that's good. Questions cannot be empty. You've hit the end. Press enter to exit. Sure. Okay. So, another thing we're going to just try here, just because I like poking around with our validators to make sure everything is working correctly. I suppose we could start... Oh, we could do some shenanigans with testing this, but let's say, hey, our title is going to have a couple spaces in it. So are our questions. Right? Nothing crazy, just is what it is. Debug, start new instance. Questions cannot be empty. Why did it not? Hold on. Why did I not? Did I write my check wrong there? I probably did. What's the actual check? If count, oh. Title count is greater than 0. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Cobalt. Good job. There we go. Title can't be empty. Questions can't be empty. You hit end, press enter. Okay. So if we go back here, Let's add a flag for duration, and let's put it, you know, at like 1. And let's put, these don't matter. Actually, I suppose we probably need, what is the length? Probably we're going to want an additional validator here to do. What are the maximum and minimum lengths of questions? Let's see what the developer documents have to say. I think it Twitch maximum question length. Donation length. Oh, Twitch poll. Give me what I want. Thank you. Each option is limited to 25 characters. Okay. That's fine. And I think the minimum must be... You know what? Let's check. It'll yell at me, I'm sure, if I don't build it properly. Manage poll. New poll. Third poll. Start poll. Provide at least 2 choices. Okay, so its maximum length must be 25. That's fine. We can swap that over. Not a big deal at all. So let's sanity check all of these. Mainly because, hey, well, I mean we don't need this, but if question dot count well, we're checking if it's empty here. I'm just thinking questions can't be empty, which is fine. Minimum length is 1. If we get rid of the spaces, we're checking that the question can't be empty. So let's add a check for max length. Max, dot count is less than or equal to 25. I don't know if there's a better way to do this where we're applying it on each question, like iteratively, right? This is an IEnumerable. Is there anything in here that is, I don't see anything. It might be something to check later. To do, check later to see if there is an option to apply on each entry through fluent validation instead of writing loops in the custom rule. Hey Dryad, how are you doing this fine evening? I hope you are doing well. Jeez, I don't know, I must be sitting weird when I am writing software. I keep getting a knot. Ooh, jeez, let's knock over that. Getting a knot in my neck is not very good. But what can you do? Here, let's adjust how I'm sitting. Doing good. That's good to hear. How's it going, stream? Stream is going all right, I think. I'm having a good time. We're making some progress for TwitchQuickPoll, which is good. Because, you know, I don't want to work my mods like rented mules. So if I want to do something like my Hades challenge stream again, I need to make a tool to pre-build polls. Progress is progress, exactly. Count is greater than or is less than or equal to 25. Yeah. And let's add this, and then we'll break. Actually, we can't really break here. How do we want to do this? Because it can't be empty. then you fix it. It can't be less than 25. You know what? Let's just do a dumb thing here. Bool. Empty question equals false. And let's add empty question equals false, and then we'll set this, instead of breaking here, we'll set this to be the question equals true. Again, not the best way to do this. I may have to tweak these later, but you know. And let's just make a dumb little another bool here for maximum length question equals false if maximum length question is false and the question should be greater than 25. What am I doing? Maximum length question equals true, and let's add questions have a maximum of 25 characters. There we go. So we do know what that is. And, I mean, I guess we could say if empty question and maximum length question break. We've answered both of them. Don't necessarily like this, but actually, you know what? No, better way to do this. Yeah, better way to do this. Well, hold on. Can I just let's swap back to program. Can I do a dot distinct? I don't need to define that. I can define it. Okay. Hold on. Let's check this. And we can just get rid of this whole thing and just say, hey, only return the distinct values. Yeah, I like that more than writing more logic in our rule here. It felt gross, and that usually means that there's a better way to do things. Count is greater than 25. I mean, sure, we're technically gonna loop multiple times, but you know, we're looping like 5 times at most, so it's not a big deal. Okay. So, but I do want to see if there's a better way, like something to apply. You know what? Let's just check it now, actually. Fluent validation, enumerable, run rule against each entry. It's always a pain when I'm like, I kind of know what the concept I want is, but how do I turn that into a search query where Google will understand what I'm asking? Collections. Okay, collection of simple types. Let's just take a look here. You know what? You guys can look at the the collection page with me. Oop. There we go. Oh, rules for each. Okay, well that's probably the thing we want to do. Rules for each, and then set child rules. Oh, that's way better. That's exactly what I want to do. We can call for each instead of... Yeah, okay, for each is the one we want. Yeah, that... There we go. Again, it's you're doing something weird. It doesn't feel right. You're like, there's got to be a better way to do this, and there is. Thank you, Fluent Validation. I knew that you would want to be able to do this. No, I don't want to lock that. I want to blind it. There we go. So let's split this out then. Again, I don't use fluent validation as much as I should, but this is good. I still feel like there should be a max length thing that we could do here, but whatever. Let's yank all this out into a for each rule. Dot for each. And what does it want that to look like again? For each question rule. Okay, and this should be a string. Question rule. No. Hold on. For each order rule. Rule for each. As of version 8.2, an alternative to using rule for each is to call for each as part of a regular rule for. I don't see where we're calling this though. Rule for, and then for each, order rule. I don't think... Dot... count? Do I then need to apply a custom rule? It's an enumerable of strings. What type do you think you are? Hold on. Var x equals question rule. No, it doesn't know what I want. Dot. What options do we have here? What are we doing? For each, okay, so we have a list of orders. Must, there's no more than 10. Oh, and we can just do must here, can't we? Dot must. Actually, no, we'll do it with Q. Because these are question rules, you know? Q dot count. Can I do count greater than 2? Q dot count less than or equal to 5. And this should be greater than or equal to. There. And we might as well say it's not null first thing in the rule chain. And then we can cut all of this off. You know what, here. There. Where does the custom end? Again, I like keeping things around in comments until I'm actually done with them. Here. Come on. And let's just leave that there for a second. Doesn't matter. Okay, so this is saying question list has to be between 2 and 5, which is fine. And then for each allows rules to be built against individual elements in the collection. Oh. That does not seem to be... I don't believe that's what that's supposed to look like. Okay. So this should be what we want, I think. then q dot must. And then we can say with message. Oh, that probably dot with message. Can I do it like this? Something? Yep. Cool. With message, a poll requires a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 5 questions. There we go. Q must Q is say question here. Dot string. Sorry, string dot is null or white space. Equals false. Or sorry, equals true is the check. Count must be. Wait, is must, hold on. If it's. Yes, okay, so this is the must is it must be that. So is null or white space is false with message. Questions cannot be empty. Okay. Then can I do another? Can I just chain these? Dot must. Wait, question dot, what am I thinking here? Count less than or equal to 25 dot with messages. And then we can say questions have a maximum of 25 characters. That should be what we want, I think. I think that's what the rule should look like. Okay. Ooh. Okay, maximum length, custom. It's not null. Minimum length is 1, maximum length is 60. We have the custom for. Why don't we just write that as a must instead of a dot must? Here, let's do this. Let's write this as a must and see if it works. Because we're not doing anything complicated enough that we can't just put it in a must. Must, title, dot, is, count. Just thinking here. String is null. Is null or white space. Is false. Dot with message. Oh, I guess title. There we go. So cool that you knew how to do stuff like this. I mean, I've been doing it for a significant amount of time. I don't think it's that difficult to learn. Like if you're interested, there's lots of resources online. I really do like writing software though. It's It keeps the lights on for me, and it's a hobby. So you know that there's a bonus. There's a bonus with that, right? It's nice to have as a skill in your back pocket. Titles. Oh, I can't copy and paste things. Titles cannot be empty. And so if this is false, we're gonna return titles cannot be empty, I believe, is my understanding. Only applies to the rule that directly precedes it. Cool. That is good. So title has to be false. Hold on, can I do, I want to do a, I want to almost stick this must in as a conditional on this passing. Yes, can I do that? Fluent validation, run rule only if previous rule fails. How do I do that? Oh, I can just say when, I think. Yes, I can. Cool. Greater than 0 when you're the preferred customer. Oh, or do I do it like this? Dot when? Title dot count your string. Why can't I do a count on my title there? Oh, title dot, of course. This one comes through as string. When create fine. Create dot title dot count is greater than 0 there. So I think this chain, what this rule chain should be doing is, hey, we check, make sure title isn't null. We say minimum length is 1, maximum length is 60, right? Then we say, hey, you know, it can't be just a null or white space, which to be fair, at least is partially covered by this, but whatever. Null or white space is just a better version of null or empty. And we only care about this check if the count is greater than 0, because then this will have been passed. I mean, and then we say titles can't be empty. I think that should be fine. So let's run this and see what it yells at us about right now. Start. Okay, titles can't be empty. Question can't be empty. Question can't be empty. Okay. That's fine. Why do we not... Okay. Why is that not in program? When we say distinct... Right line error. Why is it not distinct? Okay, well that doesn't matter. Whatever. It'll yell at you. It doesn't matter. We could say question. Can we say the count in here? Press enter to exit. Sure. Why are we not actually exiting? There we go. Now we're exiting. Validation errors distinct. Yeah, let's just get rid of errors here. So we can get rid of all of this, as far as I know. Hold on, what were we passing in when we were kicking off the debug? What parameters were coming in here? Title, we were passing in a list of, you know what? Let's check this. And let's check this, and let's check this. So we pass this one back in now. What do we get? Debug. Start new instance. Questions can't be empty. Why is that not... Okay. Why is it not triggering for this is... for the minimum length? Is this when getting applied on all of them? When the validator... Oh, when is getting applied on all of them? Okay. You know what? That's fine. We'll just change this up. Okay. We're going to say, hey, you're not null, and you have a minimum and a maximum length, right? That's going to be our first check. And we're going to say rule for create dot title, and then we'll just stick this on here, and then this should be we have to have two separate rules for this, but this should then work. It was that when was going all the way back. And I actually don't think it matters if I put this before the when. I think when is technically, it seems to be fine with that. Yeah, let's see if that does what we want. So if I run this now, length of title must be at least one character. You entered 0 characters. Okay, that's good. All right. So that's fine. We can get rid of this. And let's say one of these is, you know what, here. Let's do a few more. Properties right here. And debug launch profile. So we know that this has to have a title. So let's just say this question, or our command line poll. So we have a title now. And let's just say question number 1, our first question. And then this one we decided is 25. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 20. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There should be 30. Now it should complain that we haven't passed in the right values here. Questions have a maximum of 25 characters. There we go. That's good. Alright. So, what other options do we have that we want to look at? Let's, validator. This we have checked. This is good. I mean, we could comment this too in our validator. Let's just, it's readable. Rule for questions. You know what? Rules for the title of the poll. Yeah, the spacing is fine here. We can kill all of this. So our next rule is our duration, right? And options, did I get rid of all of this? This gets pulled out because this doesn't matter. Those durations don't actually work. Or not durations, sorry, those max and min values don't work. So let us set a new parameter here to make sure that this is going to work. And that parameter is called, you know what, question number 2, Duration, and we'll say 1. As far as I know, you can't do that. So it should yell at us and say, oh, what does it not like? Duration is defined with a bad format. Does it have to be positive? Oh, okay. Interesting. So we bail out. What if I say that in quotes? Will it convert it properly? You know, it's just when you're testing this, you've got to be like, what are people going to do? And duration is this, sorry. And duration, yeah, duration is 1. There we go. It's that I always forget that we need the double dashes there. Duration must be between 60 and 600. You entered 1. Okay. So let's leave that one there and let's add a new one that is what was that property again? What was I calling it? Points. Properties. Is this going to yell at us if we set points to be something? 1 point for a bonus. Okay, so it doesn't care about that. So it just ignores points. If it doesn't get passed in. That's fine. Okay. So let's add this use channel points. Properties. Launch profiles. Use channel points. True. Points, and we're going to set a negative value for points because it shouldn't like that. Channel points must be greater than 0. Okay, cool. So that looks good. So. And I don't even know what we would set for broadcaster ID. But that's fine. Let's get rid of all of these properties. And by get rid of them, I mean... Actually, we can leave these. Points are going to be... You know what? You need 100 points to vote in my super secret poll. And by super secret, I mean public poll that we're going to create here. Duration is going to be 60. And so 1 minute. If we run this now, it should just say, hey, you've hit the end. We didn't fail on any validators. Which is good. That's what we want. So back into our validator. That is all valid. I think this can actually be sealed as well. I don't think it cares. Oh wait, sorry, no, sealed is not on the constructor. What are you doing, Cobalt? What are you doing? So we have all our nice little options there. Let's go back to program for a second. And let's just check this in as here, let's check this into the project. I know there are some hooks you can add. I've seen people discuss it, that it's like, hey, if I make a like pull request or something, it will post it in chat that I've made a pull request on a project, which is kind of cool. What do we have here? Program. Yeah, that's... I don't want to check in the profile, so I'm not going to check in the launch settings, but I'll check in everything else. Include fluid validation. Okay, we don't care about that launch settings profile because that's just for debugging purposes. We'll just say added fluent validation to provide additional rules against command line inputs. Sure, that's reasonable, I think. commit and push. There we go. That's getting pushed to the repo. There we go. Those changes are now in... Wait, what did I check in that I didn't? No, that's fine. Okay. So that's good. We've got that going for us. So, next thing that we're going to do, validate our inputs and make a proper request. We've done this. To do, throw this, to do, throw this into a function. Mainly, you know, this is our sanity check to be like, hey, you don't have a broadcast ID, but you do have a token that has a broadcast ID built into it. So we'll just get that and we'll save it for you and everything will be great. So we have this section that's eventually going to be passed in, right? Let's tweak all of this, shall we? We don't need any of this anymore. Let's comment this all out. Right. And now what do we have? We say poll.title equals, where's the parse value? It's just parse value, right? Parse result, maybe? Parse result. Parse result dot value dot title. And okay. And poll dot duration seconds equals parse result dot value dot duration. Cool. Then we're gonna have to say for each var x in parse result dot value dot questions. And we can just say that's a string of questions. String of question. String question, sorry. And then, don't I need to like custom build this? I do. This is a little weird, but whatever. That equals question. Do I not have choices? I need my list of choices here, actually. List of choices, not the way I would actually. Can I build this in a different way? Yeah, that's fine. Question, and then we say poll choices are equal to this. Okay. Right, then we can say poll dot channel point voting enabled equals parse result dot value dot use channel points, sorry. Okay. And if I mean, we probably just ignore it. It probably doesn't even matter. So we can probably just say, hey, poll dot channel points per vote equals parse result dot value channel points. And then the only thing we're gonna have to what is it not like here? This is int. Do I not have a default set on that? 1 second. It doesn't like the fact that we're doing some implicit type conversion between a nullable int and an int. But it should be coming in as a default. Hold on. Can I just go and set that to be... If we always set a default, does it matter? Default equals null. We could just say dot. It's null. Should the default just come in a 60 or 1? No, no. Let me just double check the rule there. What did we say the rule was? Has to be greater than 0 and dot is or dot not null. So it can't be null and it can't be, it has to be greater than 0 when this is set. So in that case, we can probably just go down here and say parse result dot value dot channel points dot, what is the, that's the option, right? So I think that should do what I want. Basically, if this is not null, then pass the value and otherwise pass it 0. That's what that should be doing. And then we should say if poll dot channel not channel points dot broadcaster ID dot not broadcaster, sorry, parse result, there we go, dot broadcaster ID dot value dot broadcaster ID dot has value. Then we say parse result, not parse result, poll dot broadcaster ID equals parse result, and let's just grab the whole dang thing. This is actually gonna be funny. Parse result dot value dot broadcaster ID dot value. Cannot, oh, it has to be a string? Oh. Well, that's something to fix. Let's fix that. This is not a int, this is a string. In which case, we can just say string dot is null or white space equals false. There we go. So if we have a value set, pass in that value, otherwise there. Pass in the value, otherwise just leave it and grab it from whatever we currently have it set to. Which should be all of this. And this I'll have to, I'm going to yank this out and throw it into a function in a little bit, I think. Ugh. To be fair, we could... I'm just thinking. This, what are we all passing in here? We're going to pass in the app settings value. I might yank this out and... Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And if, you know what, let's just ignore ignore all of this if you're passing in the broadcaster ID manually. We're not going to overwrite your broadcaster ID if you have it set. We're not going to do anything like that. We're just going to say, hey, just return the value that you've passed in. You've said this is the broadcaster ID you want to use, so we're going to let you use it, you know? Okay. So what we're then going to do is this should make us a poll. Right now, if we look at our properties, what we should be doing is we should be saying, creating a poll that says our command line poll with questions, question 1, question 2, a duration of 60 seconds, and 100 channel points to vote, to add additional votes. So, if we go and we run this now, let's save all our changes. And let's put a breakpoint. Broadcast radius can be set, that's fine. Yeah, so let's run this. And if we say F10, we step through all of this, we make our new poll request, we say, hey, we don't have a broadcaster ID. Did I yank that out? Oh, 1 second, guys. I need to, well, hold on. I need to sanity check this. Let me just hide this so I can look at the config file that is storing my relevant keys. Give me 1 moment, please. Let's hide that. And let me just look at app settings. Oh, okay, that's fine. I don't have the broadcaster ID set. Not a big deal. Okay. So... oh, actually, I should be. Oh, it's probably... 1 second. 1 second, 1 second. Is it not set in there? Oh, wait. Copy if newer. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, okay. That's reasonable. Kill app settings.json. Turn our Visual Studio Capture back on. Again, it's a bit of a security concern, but it's one that I think is an acceptable trade-off for simplicity here. And if you don't, well, I mean, there could be some mod of broadcaster ID. There, set that, write it out. There we go. So we're gonna build this poll now. Poll title, duration. And I suppose there's something to be said to be like, you know, a sanity check of, do you have the ability? And let's just let this run to the end. Create poll. Boop. Survey says our command line poll. Question number 1, question number 2. So I'm gonna vote. And I don't see it giving me an option to vote more, but I also have infinite channel points. If anybody wants to vote on that, please let me know if that's going to work for you. If you vote, does it give you an option to vote using more channel points? Otherwise, I'll have to see what I did wrong there and be like, what's going on? What are we not seeing? Bum bum ba-dum bum bum ba-dum dum dum. Are we command line poll? Okay, so that I think we maybe 10. That's fine. Okay, so question number 1. So why was that not getting set? Was it just I wasn't passing it in as, what does the poll look like? Maybe we weren't passing in the channel points. Was use channel points not being set? Let's just see. Boop. Okay, let's take a look. Use channel points is set to true. Ah. Interesting. Interesting. So why is that not... hold on, is that a limit on the Twitch poll when we are like as the broadcaster? Because that is a possibility that I literally just can't vote using channel points. I might get one vote. I might get one vote, but I can't vote because I have infinite channel points. And broadcaster, sorry, Twitch. And broadcaster vote in polls with additional. Okay, hold on. You know, easier way to test this is if I make a poll right now manually from the website, and I say manage poll, new poll, poll from Twitch, question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4, question 5, right? And then I'll say I'll allow additional votes at 100 pages per vote. Set duration for 1 minute, right? So this one, we should now have a poll that we can vote in. I vote for question number 1. Okay, so I can't vote with additional channel points. Okay, that is good to know. That makes sense. I get it. Now, something that I may have to test, but I might have to wait until somebody else is on for that, is can I run a poll for somebody that I'm a mod for if I change the broadcaster ID? Okay, so that's fine. I think that should be working. I'm less concerned about that being a thing. So, what that means is, hey, let's start the section that will eventually be passed in. Well, that's all getting passed in now. We can get rid of all of this code for writing it from the console, because it now depends on us passing in the values, which is good. So let's check that in. Yeah, I think we'll do a couple more things, and then we might call it for the night. No, I got a couple other things I want to do, even if that other thing is just going to be playing some more Slay the Spire on Endless Vintage. It's so stupid and soothing. And it's like you start a fight and it's like, let's load up like the 200 boosts you have, and I'm like, cool, sounds good. Okay, let's check that in as well. Pass in that, so it's a string. Pass in that. Pass in that. Changed logic so that all values used when creating the poll come from the command line and are not prompted from the console application. Commit and push. You know what? I want to double check to make sure that minimum poll length is actually a thing. Twitch, I think it is minimum poll min length. Default duration is... What is the minimum length, though? I don't care what the default is. I know the default is 60 seconds. Do a poll and use a timer. Nah. How to use polls. I think the minimum length is 60, though. 60 seconds. Creating polls. Yeah, that's right. Instead of using length, let's use duration, because that's the min duration. Whatever. It does say the length can run from 1 minute to 3 minutes, which is not true. Max length right now is, I think, 10 minutes, isn't it? What is the max length? Or is it 15? New poll. Oh, it is 10. Okay, that's fine. Who doesn't like the max duration? I don't know what I'm talking about. What am I talking about? Cobalt? What are you talking about, you madman? Sorry. What's, yeah, it's fine. Check that in. That's checked in. And I think that might be done playing. Let's re-queue up our background audio. Okay. So, poll response. What do we actually get in poll response? Let's take a look. 12. We get data. Cool. You know what? Let's run this. I want to check what the response is. So I think CodeNeco was right. He mentioned it on the last stream. They said something along the lines of, "Oh, we should sleep for a bit, and then you know, get our poll response, like get our actual results, and then you know, do whatever, right?" So in this case, what we would be doing is like saving this out as an image file to be like, this is what the poll looked like. Save it out as a graph, do whatever, right? So that's, I was thinking about it, and originally I was like, you know what, we'll run it, and then we'll like just let the we'll set a value and we'll let them get it back. But I think it's probably better to just sleep for the duration. And I think CodeNeco was right on that. I was thinking about it over the last week, and I'm like, yeah, I think CodeNeco was right. So I think that's what we're gonna do at some point, is tweak this so the duration, like we sleep for the duration of the poll, and then we immediately make another call to get the information. But what that means is we need to run another poll right now, because I need to see what poll response gets back. Poll response and F10. And what does this response look like? Poll response. We get data. The data is a poll. And we get the ID and the current status. So that's what we want. We get some information about it. We have our list of choices that come back. It's all very, very useful. We can set bits per vote. I've never seen that. I've never seen that be used in a poll. Do I even have an option to do that from the web front end? Manage poll. New poll. And poll from Twitch. Hold on, if I refresh the page, sorry, this is being a thing. Okay, so if I manage poll here, it does see my command line poll, and it sees that it's running, I think. Which is fascinating. Are we still running? Oh, poll ended. That's fine. Nobody voted. That's okay. Not the problem here. So, but yeah, if I view results, that's fine. If I say new poll, I don't see an option to do bits per vote, which makes sense, because I suspect that probably wasn't being used a lot. Maybe it was. I don't know. It's something where they say that, yeah, this was a thing, but it's questionable. Very questionable. I've never seen it. I don't know. If you've seen that, let me know, because I have never seen that. So let's do poll result or response dot data dot poll. What is the actual dot data? Oh, it's, why is it an array? Why does the poll response come back as an array? Ugh. Dot first or default, I guess. Dot what is the one I want? Cobalt, are you a programmer? Hey Waffles, I am. This is how I keep the lights on. But I decided, you know, I was tired of working my mods like rented mules, so I decided that I should make a tool to make my life easier so that I can just pre-build polls and then just run them from my Stream Deck. Could be confused for a pro gamer. Well, I am a programmer, I am not a pro gamer. But how are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. What is the ID? This is the ID. Sorry, dot. You know what? Let's just get the... Wait, we have the poll response. Do we care about the data? Well, actually, we don't even need to look it up, so let's just do it this way. Sleep. What is the... Hold on, I probably need to. Let's kill this. What is the... I never remember where this is. C# sleep. Thread.sleep. You can't specify an exact... System threading, thread sleep 50. Okay. Accuracy of around 15 milliseconds. You know what? That's fine. We can try this and see if it does what we want. I'm just thinking, what else do we want to do here? Sanity check, we're getting something back. I mean, you know what? Fine, I'll add a sanity check here. If app settings. Here. Let's just make a comment here. That's probably going to be what we want. To do sleep for the duration of the poll, and then retrieve the results and do something with them. Okay. Pass in. Do I care about any of this anymore? That's all fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's add an additional sanity check here. If app settings is null, to do bailout. Okay, and let's do, if broadcast ID is null, let's just say console dot log dot right line unable to retrieve user information. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, and this should be broadcaster ID here. Broadcaster ID. There. Unable to retrieve. Let's say necessary user information. And I'll say we'll log this later. Log this later. And then we're just going to return here because we can't do anything else if we don't have our user information. We know user response is going to be a value. Users should be a value. Yeah, all that's fine. And then same thing here. Console.writeLine. Unable to retrieve broadcaster ID from user. Yeah, that's fine. User, and you know what? I don't need to. Let's just say log this. To do log this. And I don't need that open at the moment. And then we'll return. So we have all of that. This I'm going to shove all in a function. I know, I am. We will have to add nlog or something. Just because if some of this stuff blows up, they're probably not going to see it on the console, so... Hey, if we're not creating your, poll, check the logs. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, and this should actually, whoops, this should return, we should return here. Because we, and to do log me. Okay. Clean this up later. Yeah, we can build that later, not a big deal. Bailout. Console dot right line. You know what, let's do a few things here. Just as early sanity checks on what we have. You know what? Okay. I'm just thinking here. Do I want to throw all of this into a validator function? The problem is then we have to do like a double hop for return. Not necessarily a bad thing, just something that we... Well, and the validator... Because we would return our validator here. We'd return our validator. Sorry, so what I'm thinking of here, Waffles, is I'm thinking of... Basically, I'm like, oh, we could pull all of this, you know, top level front validation into a function, right? To just have like our basic, hey, you're booting up, run your validation, and then bail out, just so it's its own little thing, just so we're yanking this out of here. Again, I do need to clean up a lot of this into functions at some point, but that is that is like if we return, so like, okay, what I'm thinking is we return this function, right? We throw all this into a validation, we throw this into a validation function, and then, okay, so we need to return, we're going to return the, well, we need to return our parse result, because our parse result does have our values in it, right? And then I suppose we do also, we could return a, like a tuple of our parse result and then our actual validator to do our second validation check. And then we check that, and then we can just return out from there. I suppose that would work. We're cooking right now, not refactoring. Exactly. Exactly. You know, this is all in one function anyway. We're under 200 lines at the moment. I'm not too worried about this. We'll clean it up at some point, right? I'm fine with all these to-do log me things. It honestly, at the moment, works for creating the polls. It doesn't work for, say, you know, say generating the images of them yet, but, you know, we can get that data back. It's not a big thing, and we will be doing that. It's just, yeah, sorry. For a moment, let's finish the thought that I was having, right? App settings is null. Console write line. What are we gonna write here? What do we want to write? Unable to retrieve necessary application information. Necessary, you know what? Necessary information from app settings.json. And return. Okay. And same thing here. I was thinking, sorry, this was the thought that I had that I was distracted, is we could write a little validator on our app settings, right? So write a TwitchQuickPoll settings validator using Fluent Validation, and then just call it, grab our validation result, and say, hey, you have something. So we're not, you know what, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. It's not, maybe not the most beautiful thing, but I kind of like it. Plus, I don't use Fluent Validator enough, right? And it is, Fluent Validator is beautiful. I love it. Ugh. So maybe we want to do that. Sorry, what language is this? This is C#. Do you have some programming experience, Waffles? And if so, what language is your language of choice? You know what? I kind of actually do like that. Yeah, let's do that. That's fun. Yeah, let's throw this in here. Let's throw this in models. Yes. And yes, just the namespaces, it's fine. Basically, all we're gonna do is add some null checks here, but that's fine, right? And if there is something that we can, I don't know how much information, like if there is a specific format that broadcaster ID, access token, and client ID always appear in. But just because we're having fun with Fluent Validator, let's do that. Boop. One beginner Python class, but I'm trying to learn about stuff like garbage collection, memory allocation, state management, and then just learn stuff that appears in other languages. That's fair. That's fair. I am always pro learning programming languages or software development, just because if you know, you don't necessarily need to be making big things, but sometimes it's like, well, I want to do this, and you know, that makes it possible. New item. Let's just make a dumb little validator for this. Okay. Public class abstract validator. TwitchQuickPoll settings. Okay, cool. There we go. And let's make a rule for settings dot what was the order I was doing these in? Day job, back, front, or full. I'm basically a full stack developer. Client ID was the first one. I guess it doesn't matter, but whatever. Client ID is rule for this. Is not null? What is it not like? Client ID is not null here. That's fine. Can I not say not null? Here we go. Not null and not empty. That's valid enough for what we have. Same thing for our access token. Dot access token is not null or not empty. And you can implement a button and transform your user data. Exactly. Broadcaster. Broadcast ID, I don't care if it's empty, because if it's empty, we'll get it later. So we'll just say this isn't null. Nothing nuts here. Just some very simple validators that I'm just doing because it's fun, honestly, at this point. I don't know how it would handle the fact that if this is null. Like, if I just say this doesn't, if I add a 1 on here, how does it handle that? I'm curious. Return. And let's get rid of all of this. And let's say Twitch quick poll settings validator. And we'll say settings validator. Yep. And then we'll say validator, no, settings validator dot validate app settings. It knows what I want. And validate async actually. Wait. And same thing here. Except instead of this, it can be settings validation result. Yeah, I think I am gonna yank these out into little validator functions. But for the moment. What does it not care about? Maybe null here. Can it validate a null? Does it care? Okay, that validates the values, but it doesn't technically validate the null. Alright, fine. To do validate that TwitchQuickPoll settings isn't null. Because I'm not sure what comes back. I'm not sure if we get a null value back if we reference a section that doesn't exist. I don't know off the top of my head. Let's look. TwitchQuickPoll. Okay, so right now, what came back from... Oh, sorry. F10? We get this section. It is null, okay. And is that going to blow up? Yep, that blows up. Cool. Okay, so we do need that. That's fine. But technically, if somebody is messing around with our config, we could blow up there. Okay. And then let's go with if validation result dot is valid equals false, and just yank this down here. Okay. Except this is not validation, this is settings validation. There. You know what, here, I'm gonna redeem these for myself. You know what I really need right now? I need a stretch and I need a hydrate. There we go. As always, guys, if you want to join in and be happy and healthy today, please feel free. And if not, you know what? That's fine too. Let's stretch up to the sky, way up high. And let's stretch to the side. Ooh. And let's stretch to the other side. And let's stretch forward. Oh. Guys, I said I was gonna like stream for like 2 hours today. Yeah. We'll go for another probably half an hour. I don't know. I want to pull some validation stuff out into functions just so it looks a little bit prettier. And let's stretch the left arm over the body. And let's stretch the right arm over the body. And let's rotate those shoulders. 1, 2, 3. And let's rotate the neck. 1, ooh, 2, ow, 3. Geez, I've got this knot in my shoulder that's just being a little annoying. And let's shake out those legs. Do 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 do. 1, 2, 3. And then let's hydrate. All right, stretch complete, hydrate complete. We are good. We are happy. We can be healthy too. I don't know. Okay, 1 second. I am gonna do a thing here. Let me just mute, not mute, hide Visual Studio for a second. Let's go into app settings. Boop. Boop. There we go. There should be nothing in here now. And there, let's turn that Visual Studio Capture back on. And then let us spin this up and say, hey, are you going to do some validation for me? And it's going to say maybe. Maybe. Okay. 10, sure. Validate that app settings. It should be false. It says, hey man, what are you doing? There. Oh, and I didn't actually check to see what it was displaying because I am a genius with the biggest, meatiest of brains. Here, boop. Let's just put a breakpoint here before we call the validator. And what is it saying? Client ID must not be empty. Access token must not be empty. Reasonable. I get that. Okay. So now I'm gonna put those back in. Actually, you know what? No. Let's leave this here, and we're gonna make some dumb little validator helper functions, just so things are sitting at the bottom. Which one is this? Is this the? Yes. Okay. So public. I'm gonna return something like this of validate console. You know what? No, better idea. I'm gonna do this differently. Yes, I'm gonna do this differently. And what I'm gonna do differently is I'm gonna yank. The thing with this is I think that at some point we are going to need to we are gonna need to do some shenanigans with all of these. You know what? Okay, no. We're gonna leave this one here. Yeah, this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna leave this section here where we're parsing the validator response. And we're gonna parse this response, and then this is just gonna be here, right? Because any validation errors are already gonna have been displayed to the console, right? Then we're gonna yank all of this stuff in here. This is gonna go become its own little function, just because then it's not sitting here and it's just one line. It looks cleaner in the main area. And we're gonna do the same thing with this. Yes, that's what we're gonna do. I still have no idea how to debug or use breakpoints. I mainly try to scrape data from the web, so I usually just do logging in the file to see what's going on. Really want to learn how to use breakpoints. I think depending on like what development tool you are using, right? Breakpoints are honestly just as easy as, hey, let's click the button. I'm not sure with like Python though, because it's not something I've done with. But if you were using something like Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code, Visual Code. Wow, that's terrible. What is it actually called? Visual Code? Visual Studio Code? What am I doing? Visual Studio Code. Yes, if you have the Python stuff installed, you probably can just have something set up for breakpoints like this. You know what? Let's take a look, because I don't know off the top of my head. Visual Studio Code, Python, debugging. Debugging configurations for Python apps in VS Code. Python extension supports debugging through the Python debugger extension for several types of Python applications. Okay, that seems helpful. So yes, you can go to like run debug, and you should be able to put breakpoints in. Basic debugging. Debug in file. Yeah. Does indeed seem helpful. Yes, here's the link I'm looking at. You know what? Let's reply to you. Boop. There. I'd say take a look at that. That might be what you're looking for. Again, it's not something that I have a ton of experience with because despite the fact that I want to learn Python at some point, I've just never sat down and done it. So this is, there will be a way, I'm almost 100% certain there will be a way for you to do debugging in Visual Studio Code for Python. And I think that's probably a good start, honestly. Okay, what am I gonna take here? Yeah, let's say create options. Is there, hold on, what is, this is a validation result. Better idea. Yeah, better idea. Can I write an extension method for that? We're just gonna write it to the console. Yeah, let's see if I can write an extension method for a custom class. Extension method for custom class. C#. I never remember what the implement and call custom extension method. Static class to contain the extension method, and what is the, oh, it's the this. Okay. Yeah. So we can wrap this a little bit, make it smaller. Let's just make a new. I don't like models anymore. Let's call it classes. No, models is fine. Let's go. Let's make a new folder here. We're gonna call this folder extensions. Again, this has no real value, but you know, sometimes you just have to play around with things, right? Let's just make a validation result extensions and public static class, okay, and then public static void. Yeah, that's fine. Public static void, and let's just say write validation messages to console. This, and sorry, what is the type here? Type is validation result. Validation result. Okay, and it doesn't know what type that is. Fluent validation results. And we are gonna say mean if validation result is null, just return. Don't care about that. Otherwise, if validation result is valid equals false, return. Okay. And if it's false, then we'll just copy this and we'll say, hey, write it to the console. There. There we go. So we have our dumb little extension method. Actually, instead of to console, to output. And then we'll just say this, and we'll say validation result dot write Write validate. There we go. There. 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 And then we can grab the same thing down here. And we just say settings, validation result, write to output. Now anytime we have a validation result, we can just write it to our output. In this case, it's probably console. Actually, hold on. I'm curious. Let's just take a look at this. And log output. How do we set this? Logging setup in 5 minutes with nlog. Not really what I want, but nlog. Is it just targets? Why is there an urban dictionary for nlog? Very confused. Okay, hold on. Configuration options. Oh, it needs some JavaScript. Of course it does. Oh, we just write log messages to the console. Okay. Nlog setup. C#. How to start logging with nlog. Sure. Create the logger. Installing dependencies. Creating the logger. Configuring the logger. Turn the log file. This we may update later, so it logs it to whatever the nlog output is, which is not a huge deal. Just something to think about. But right now, if I run this again, what should happen is it should just run that out to the console. Boop. Or it's going to blow up because I didn't do something properly. But that's anytime you run the software, right? Okay. Access ID must not be empty. Access token must not be empty. That is reasonable. Okay. That's good. We don't want to return that. No, we do technically want to return that this isn't null. Fine. Just throw a if. I mean, it doesn't matter. Does it really matter? No balls? Does it really matter? You should just fix it. What else do we have? Throw us into a function. Yeah, I should yank all this into a function, I suppose. Okay, let's just make a little private function called private int get broadcaster ID. Yeah, where is all of this coming from? Okay. Group. And you know what? Not get. We're gonna call this handle broadcaster ID. Okay, so we're gonna pass in our app settings here because we're going to need that. Why is choice blowing up? What did you just add? It's an ambiguous reference between TwitchLib API, Helix models, polls, create choice. Well, I don't know which one it is. What are we doing here, guys? Private, fine, async. Ask int. Here we go. There we go. It's not going to complain about async. API doesn't exist. This should actually probably get thrown as an exception instead of writing it and returning it. Yeah, alright. Poll doesn't exist, that's fine. Let's grab our app settings ID. Where did you go? This. And we can just say, you have this, you are now in app settings. Why have you lost track of who the API... Oh, we need to explicitly pass the API in. Where are we declaring it? Fine, Twitch API. You know what, we'll pass in our API first. What else are we complaining about at the moment? I don't know why we have both of them though. Create poll. What's the difference between poll choice and create poll choice? I literally have no idea. What type does it? It's create poll choice. I don't know why it's decided that it doesn't like this all of a sudden, but okay. What if I get rid of create poll? Does it blow everything up? Are we good? Create poll request. Okay, what if I get rid of polls? Oh, I'm gonna have to do this in like 2 different ways, aren't I? Probably. That's a little annoying, but alright. You know what, we're gonna throw this actually. Throw new exception. Unable to retrieve necessary user information to populate broadcaster ID. Let's go with that. I'm gonna throw it. It'll go somewhere eventually. Same thing here. Throw new exception. Unable to retrieve broadcaster ID from user. That seems reasonable. I don't have a problem with that. And we're not going to return, obviously. And we don't care about the poll broadcaster ID. Ignore that for now. And same thing here. Let's say, hey, return. Write it all to text and then return broadcaster ID. There. Actually, you know what? We don't even need the else here. Let's make a string broadcaster ID equals an empty string. You are not an int, you are a string. I don't know why I always think broadcaster ID is an int. It's not. Return broadcaster ID. And we'll say broadcaster ID equals that. And then we'll say broadcaster ID equals that. That looks good. The Twitch API to interact, or sorry, let's say the instance of the Twitch API to interact with Twitch. And our app settings, the necessary information. Hey Demkeys, thank you for the raid. How are you doing this fine evening? I hope you are doing well. Let me give you a shout out. Let's do that. What were you doing tonight? How was your stream? Oh, you were also doing some software development. Nice. What were you working on? Doing good. That's good to hear. I am doing okay tonight. I'm just poking around at this console app that I want for generating like pre-built polls. I was doing a Hades challenge run where chat was telling me what to do a couple months back, and I was working one of my mods, like a rented mule, to generate and screenshot the polls for me. Was working on a virtual stream deck for your VTuber app. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. Thank you for the shout out. No worries. You know, that's just how we do it here. You know, you were so kind to bring your community over, so just got to make sure to shout you out. But I suppose I should introduce myself for anybody who doesn't already know me. Hello, everybody. My name is Cobalt. I am a variety VTuber, explorer of the Endless Archive, and tonight is Software Development Saturday. As I had mentioned, we are working on a little console app that I'm calling TwitchQuickPoll. The link to the GitLab repo is in the pinned comment if you are interested. You know, I'm just, like I said, I'm tired of working my mods like rented mules. But other than that, we play a variety of games. Lately, I've been playing a lot of Horizon Zero Dawn, but we play other stuff. Alan Wake, Mass Effect, some Nintendo stuff, a variety of anything. So if that sounds like your cup of soup, please feel free to settle in and enjoy your stay. And if not, I wish you safe journeys wherever the wind may take you. Using TwitchLib? Yes, I am. This is the first time that I have been using it. I've never used it before working on this little tool, so it's pretty neat so far. And I don't need that anymore. There we go. And what else do we have? Necessary app settings. Sorry, let's do this. The application settings containing our keys for interacting with Twitch. Growing. Played around with TwitchLib a bit to make some stream modding stuff for yourself and friends. Nice. I mean, it is pretty cool. You can do a lot. Just for looking in polls, the interesting thing is using TwitchLib, you can actually retrieve apparently the last 90 days of polls you've run, which is something that you can't do like through the website. So you can retrieve your last 90 days and then retrieve poll information about any poll you've run, which is, you know, if you're going through the website, you're basically limited to, hey, here's your last poll. Currently, I want to explore the Twitch game engine plugin more. Oh, I can't say I know that much about that one. What would that one be for? Like integrating Twitch within a game or something else? Recently released game engine plugins for Unity and Unreal. Neat. So it probably is, you know, just like built-in stuff for that, for Twitch integration. Yes, that's cool. I mean, hey, less overhead on the developers, and then it's a more standardized method of interacting with Twitch, right? Working on one for Godot as well. Excellent. I've got to admit, the last time I did any game development was in university, and that was a number of years ago. But it is something that, who knows, if I'm doing software development Saturdays, maybe I will have to think about making a game at some point. You know, I might take a stab at Godot. That sounds interesting. But yeah, that is cool. Sorry, there was something else I was going to pass in here. Oh, yes, I was going to pass in our values. Let's do an int. Sorry, let's do an int. No, for a string. and broadcaster ID. And let's just say, hey, if broadcaster ID already has a value, if string is null or white space is false, broadcaster ID, just return broadcaster ID. In terms of features, TwitchLib is way more feature rich because they've had a lot of time to mature over the years. That is completely understandable. So what I'm doing here is basically when we're passing in our flags, I do accept a broadcaster ID. So I'm just saying, hey, you know what? You've given us a broadcaster ID. Let's just ignore everything. We're not going to write it out into your app settings. We're just going to say, you know, just return it and do whatever you want with it. But that means we need to add a new parameter here. Param name broadcaster ID. If the broadcaster ID is already known. I mean, I guess, you know what? Well, we do need to pass the app settings in because I'm rewriting broadcaster ID into app settings. So I can't just ignore it. So yeah, if the broadcaster ID is already known, and then let's just say passed in from the command line, then we'll just returns the broadcaster ID. Love how easy TwitchLib makes it for the devs to have stuff up and running. Like, you don't need to worry about the pub sub or the IRC implementation. Just call the relevant methods, maybe set up a class, and you're good to go. Yeah, no, I was surprised how easy it was last stream to just like make a simple poll just using TwitchLib. It was great. Although there was one random error message I was getting. It was like your access token and client ID are invalid, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're right. And it turned out that the real problem was that the poll duration isn't set by default by TwitchLib. So I wasn't passing one in. I just assumed that the default was 60, and it was blowing up because it needed that duration. But, you know, that's fine. Sometimes error messages are a little confusing, and you have to be like, what do you actually mean here? What is the actual problem? Returns the broadcaster ID. If a broadcaster ID is passed in, then we just return it. I'm just trying to think, how do I want to word this? Returns the broadcaster ID. Makes perfect sense. Had some similar confusions when creating custom rewards. When you expect a certain type of default value, if you don't specify, ends up being something else. Yeah. I think I even created an issue on the TwitchLib GitHub for it. Nice. I mean, hey, way to contribute to the development of the library, right? I do have some ideas for some future projects which are going to involve hooking into channel point redeems. But right now I got to get my polls working first, right? Then we just return it. If you know what, I'm just gonna no, I don't like that. We'll just write it as a long explanation. If the app settings contains a broadcaster ID, then return it. Otherwise, actually, you know what? Let's make this a whole thing. Broadcaster ID. Okay, let's make some points. Return it. If no broadcaster ID is retrieved. Actually, you know what? No. Let's put this more in our actual summary, I think. Yeah, that's the better place to put this. We'll just say, hey, we returned the broadcaster ID. Okay, so there. Handles the broadcaster ID so that we can use it going forward. Oh, right. And let's do it like this. If the broadcaster ID is passed in, i.e. if it was provided from the command line, then we return it without processing. If the app settings file contains a broadcaster ID, then we return it without processing. If no broadcaster ID is provided, is known, that's better wording, then we query the user and retrieve their broadcaster ID. In the interest of minimizing calls to the Twitch API, and I know that's not the best, but whatever. We then write that broadcaster ID to our app settings file to be used going forward. Cool. Ugh. All right, so then let's go back to where we were doing this, and actually I'm just thinking about this. Parse result. You know what? We're not checking this anymore, so let's just say here. String broadcaster ID equals handle broadcast ID API app settings and this. There we go. So now what should happen? Oh, and we need to await that, of course. No, what are we complaining about? What do you not like here? Object reference? Oh. Static. That's why. So I asked this on the Twitch user voice, but I don't think there's been a response yet. Any idea if banning someone prevents them from following you? I know banning definitely doesn't remove the follow. Broadcasters are blocked for that? Really? I thought in my understanding, and again I haven't dug that far into this. I thought that that banning both blocked them from basically interacting with you at all. I assume it blocked them from following you. And then I assume that it also removed the follow. Because I swear I've heard discussion of, oh, if you, oh, but maybe not. Because, now that I'm thinking about it, it's like, oh, if you get bot rated, like, you know, and get hit with, like, bot follows, then, I want to say people are saying, like, oh, use this application to remove the follows. And that wouldn't necessarily be, it wouldn't be necessary if banning undid it. So I'm sorry, I don't have any specific knowledge on that front. I wish I did, but I do not. My apologies. There, that should be fine now. Broadcaster ID, we return broadcaster ID, and then pull broadcaster ID should just be broadcaster ID, because otherwise we don't need to get it twice. There we go. Pull broadcaster ID equals broadcaster ID. Just one second. I just need to hide this for a second because I need to see if I have my my value set in here or not. I do not. Let's set them back in there. There we go. Okay, so there we're back. So now what should happen? Actually, I'll just show this. So right now in my debug properties, I have it set, so we're passing in this, right? We're passing in title, command line poll. We're passing in 2 questions, a duration of 60 seconds, that we will accept channel points, and that, you know, an additional vote is 100 channel points. So, turn this into a function. It has been turned into a function. Do this once and write it into an app settings. That's already been done. Had the same concern. That's why I create a little program that lets me generate a token on another machine and then send it over to the main machine. Fair enough. For this, because I am planning on, you know, just, hey, if somebody wants a way to rebuild polls, like this is going to be publicly available. You know, the Git repo is public. I'm probably going to take a look at actually doing a proper release in the pipeline. I haven't been playing with that, but that's my plan. But just for like, hey, if you are a Twitch streamer and not a developer, listen, here's the instruction. Go sign up so you have a developer account, you know, make your little your client application, and then here, hit this URL and copy these values out, paste them in your app settings, and there, now you go. You can run polls from like your stream deck or whatever. Which is literally just why I'm building this. It's like, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to smart key the buttons on this. So now, that should all be fine. If we have errors, we bail out, that's fine. That's all fine. We'll need to sleep later, but that's not a big deal. I'll need to add nlog or something in, and then we can log wherever we want. Okay, so the broadcaster ID. Oh, sorry, if string or white space. There we go. Oh, wait, no, never mind. That's right. That was right. What am I talking about? We returned the broadcaster ID there. Have you used Twitch.io for Python? Been meaning to check it out. Don't know what features it got. I have not. Yeah, Python is something I do want to look into at some point, but I've actually never really worked with it. I've mainly just been a C# developer lately. I think that should all be fine. Anything we throw is gonna get caught down here. Yep. Let's run this and let's see what we get. Oh, and I don't know. That's fine. Let's comment it out. Whatever. Run TwitchQuickPoll. And alright. We have this. Okay. Cool. Let's go down here. Let's put a breakpoint in here so we can make sure that this is all getting handled correctly. So, do we have a broadcaster ID? No, we do not. So we're going to get our user, get our broadcaster ID, write that app settings file back out, and then we're going to return our broadcaster ID, which we actually don't need to do there. I don't know why. We can yank that out. Either way, we're going to set it and then return it. At the end there. So that's fine. And then create poll. Bing, bang, boom. There we go, our command line poll. That's good. That has popped up and is happy. Let's go, exactly. I mean, to be fair, we weren't really changing anything other than yanking this all in and passing it in as this little helper function, right? But, you know, it's still good to make sure that it is working. And then Cool. Okay. I suppose we can yank out this to-do validation. What else can we yank out of these things? Create poll. Here, we're gonna pull this out here and just say from let's say specified poll. Yeah, and let's just throw them down as to-dos down here. There we go. Yeah, validate this is null. Fine, I'll add the validation check here. If app settings is null. There. And now we can say that this app settings, we know it's not null. What are we writing things out here? You know what, let's just, why write it out? Let's just throw it as an exception. Unable to retrieve application settings information from actually let's how do I want to word that? From app settings.json. That's fine. Yeah, that's okay. I'm okay with that. And then after we've done all that, we say we grab all of that. What's it whining about here? To array as choices. Oh, neat. Well, I'm going to grab some noms and relax. Good luck on your project. Have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again for the raid. And I hope that you have some tasty noms and some good relaxation. Do. How do I want to? You know, let's just check this in. Why not? Commit. What do we have here? Our validation, our little extension, our, what is this one? Oh, I was moving files around, that's what it is. Okay. And we don't care about the launch settings. QuickPoll settings. And validator. And for this, let's say cleaned up validation logic, and not cleaned up, simplified. Simplified validation logic. You know, I think we'll probably just go for another. You know what? Let's go until 8:30. Yeah, that's fine. We can do that. That sounds like a good time. And then I should go find something to snack on myself. I made some French fries after stream, after like last Saturday, after software development stream, and I'm kind of feeling it now. I'll have to see what I have to eat, to snack on. But, you know what? That is fine. Simplified validation logic. Oh, did this not get pulled out? To do validate that they're not null. Well, I've already checked that. Let's remove that. Because that to do has been done. Cobalt, so cringy. Yeah, that's all fine. What does it want here? I don't like this new syntax. I don't know. Anybody else who was a C# developer, what do you think of this improved new syntax where it's just new and then brackets? I don't like it. It just doesn't feel right to me. It's kind of like using var everywhere. It's like, no, we don't need that. I don't think. Okay. Simplified validation logic. Pulled out functionality surrounding the broadcaster ID into its own function. Yeah, that works. Simplified validation logic. Added validator for settings. Yeah, that's fine. Commit and push. Let's go. Oh. All right. So we have that going for us. All checked in and nice. And what else do we have that we're doing that? What is there anything in warnings that's gonna yell at us about? Must contain a non-null value when exiting the constructor. But I don't want it to be nullable. We've said it's required. Is there something... Like, I suppose it can technically have a... What are the potential fixes? Oh, we can say it's required. What happens if we do that? Hold on, I don't know what the required keyword is. Is it a new keyword? And by new, just mean, I mean C# required keyword. It's a C# 11. Okay. So what happens if I set this as required? Does it throw it as an error then? If I just go and say, hey, I really want this. Required. I know there is some debate about, hey, you should treat warnings like errors. And let's just for this, let's say... after we do all our basic validation stuff, let's just return. Because then I don't need to worry about... Is it going to blow up? Is it going to work? Okay, so that appears to work. It doesn't appear to cause problems. So if I then run the full poll here... There we go. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. Okay, what else do we have? What else do we have? Yeah, it's fine. Return the result. I'm actually curious, what happens if I run a second one right now? Does it yell at us? Let's find out. It throws an exception. Oh, okay. I love that this, yeah, this is the default error, and I don't think you guys can actually see when I mouse over something. I don't know, let's see. No, you cannot. The error message here is, your request failed because either your client ID was invalid and not set, that's not true. Your request token was invalid, also not true. You requested a username when the server was requesting a user ID, also not true. If we look at the exception, so yeah, what is happening here is that it doesn't know that a poll is already in progress. Do we? Because we're making 2 calls there, and that's... Is there... I'm just thinking... Twitch polls API. I just want to see what it thinks we're ending a poll, getting a poll's current state. I don't necessarily want to... every time before we run a poll, we check to make sure a poll isn't running. I'm just gonna make a note on that for myself. Think about this. Note. If a poll is already running, this will throw a confusing error message. Okay, let's let that, is there anything in this? I don't think there is. API.helix.polls. Is there anything in polls that's like, hey, check if a poll is already existing? Get access. What's this one? That's helpful. In poll. Yeah, it's just like I don't want that second call every time. I wonder what actually gets returned if you're calling the API, right? What actually gets returned if you try to create it twice from the API point of view? I don't think I'm... Hold on, can I just a sec. Can I just make a web call like that? Where's the creating a poll? I mean, I can. Do I have curl installed? PowerShell. Curl. I do. Okay. Here, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna make these for... Hold on, let me just write up this, Oh. Well, I'm glad that, that was a thing. I didn't know that popped out as a, Where is that getting picked? Oh, it must be getting picked up from the command line. Okay, cool. Give me one sec. Where is that? Console app is here. Let's mute you. That's a thing. Goodness. PowerShell. And this is why you always have a separate streaming profile. Because otherwise it would have said, you know, instead of users Cobalt, it would have said users John Smith. Okay. And let me just hide. I'm hiding a few things from you guys right now. I just want to test what happens. What comes back if it actually returns something from this post. Where's the Give me one moment, please. App settings. Let's grab... Oh, I don't have my broadcaster ID? Of course I don't. You know what? Fine, let's do it this way. Twitch broadcaster. I could go look for what the file is, but I can probably just hit it from... What is this? This is fine. Yeah. And you get JavaScript. Oh, you have JavaScript. Okay. Cobalt VT. And I just want to see what comes back, and then I think we may call it a night. But and we'll say 1 minute for that, and I need my authorization token. Or sorry, access token. Access token is this. Client ID is this. Okay, and if I run this, I'm just copying their default curl. What is the okay, cool. Hold on. What is the Okay, let's fix this into one line because that's what the problem is. I think. I don't know. I don't normally use curl, so is it curl or is it curl? Anybody who uses it, please let me know. There. Let's try this. Clear. Well, doesn't want to let me do that. Cool. Okay, we're not doing that then. Fine. Be like that. PowerShell. But you know what? No, hold on. What if I do it from command? Because they're not the same. URL was rejected. Bad host name. Couldn't resolve the host application. Port number wasn't a... What? Okay, it doesn't like that. Good to know. Okay, sorry, we're back. I think. Yes, I've killed PowerShell. I've killed there we go. Was there something else I wanted to do at the moment? Let's just make a note here too. Note. By default, Twitch lib returns an error message blaming client bad client ID slash access token for its problems, which is a thing. Can I want to say that you can, is it this? Oh, yeah, I can just do it like this. Settings, client ID. At least I think I can. Or is it gonna hate this? No, it doesn't like that. Oh, it doesn't invalid, what's the fix it wants? Nope. Guess it doesn't want to do that. Fine. Can I then do it like this? Settings. Can I pass it in? Oh, I can build an API settings interface and pass it in. No, we don't need to do that. That's fine. That is more than good enough. Yeah, you know what? I think we are gonna call it. We're gonna call it a day. I was like, I'm gonna stream for 2 hours. No, apparently not. 3.5 hours. Cobalt, what are you doing? Get your shit together. No, we've made some progress. Hold on. Do I have anything to check in right now on this? It's probably just gonna be checking in notes, but whatever. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Picnics. No. Removed some warnings by marking, by marking options strings as required. Added notes in program in main admin push. And yeah, we are going to we're gonna call it. Fine. Okay. So next time what we will do is, and it's not going to be next Saturday because I have to be out next Saturday. But what we're going to do next time, I think, is going to be obviously add the functionality, sleep for the duration of the poll, and then we're going to pull the data back and turn that into something. Write it out as an image or something. Write it out as a JPEG or PNG or whatever. And then just dump that in, you know, the current location that we're running the program. Right? That is what I'm thinking. That's where we're gonna go. And then the next things will be, hey, let's provide a way to do that. Provide a way to do that for any arbitrary poll ID that you have access to, and then same thing with retrieve a list of all available historical polls. And then I don't know, maybe we will add some unit tests. Maybe we will build our pipeline out, and we will get this running as something that you can just download and install and run. Or maybe not install, but download it somewhere, make calls to it, you know. But I'm gonna mute audio. And I suppose let's find somebody to raid. But before we do, I can't actually mark them as done. I need to record that for later. Congratulations to Eccentric for the first, to Will for the second, and to Commander Zender for the third. Also, thank you again to Abhinav Demkeys for the raid tonight. And let's see who's doing what tonight. You know, let's take a look at people who are doing software. Otherwise, I think we're just gonna raid Will, and he's doing art tonight, which is always a good time. Well, let's just see what the software developers are up to. Bum bum. Bum bum. What's this person doing? What are you up to? You know what? Yeah, I don't haven't had a chance to raid Will lately. So let's raid Will tonight. Watch some art, you know. Do the good times. Sorry, we're gonna raid Will quick, because he's gonna raid me. So we're gonna go over there. Thank you for coming, everybody. I hope you all have a good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and I will see you next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.